All right, so I'm back here with Eisley Rose, doing another interview. This time we're going to talk about her, not just her books, and focus more on how does she write, why does she write, all the mechanical stuff, and learn more about her rather than just her books. Even though we're going to pinball around and jump back and forth anyways. What made you want to become an author? Like, did you know from a child? Did lightning strike you? What?
I've always been creative. I used to be in musical theater, tap, jazz, and then theater. I loved to do choir. I didn't really do any instrument. I can play a piano based off of hearing it. So I just kind of hear the song and then I can play it.
You can play by ear. That's nice.
And then I haven't done that in years, but yeah, I used to have a keyboard that I could do that with. And so I never took any lessons. And I used to create music videos with my friends.
Oh, that's fun.
Like to the point where I was like so serious about it. Like we would stop and start and stop and start, and they would lip sync, and I would be the one behind the camera, and I'd be like, "Okay, go!" And we would put confetti on top of our ceiling fan, and we would turn it on, and we'd be like, "Once upon a time," like we would just be dancing, and yeah, in sync, you know, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, that kind of thing, and then we would stop it, and then I would have like a countdown whenever I would like play it back for my friends or my family and be like 1, 2, 3. And then we played the song live and then it would play on the TV. So I always thought I would get into like, I loved choreography. I loved choreographing. Like I did the third grade show at schools.
Okay.
And just fun things like that. I didn't ever know that I'd be an author, like more of a behind the scenes kind of person. If anything, I saw myself being like an actor. And then as I grew up, I was like, ooh, I am much more, I'm an introverted extrovert.
More of an ambivert?
Yeah. Like I've always, growing up, everyone saw me as the crazy, chaotic person. And I was extrovert, but then I would go home and just be exhausted. And I would love my alone time. Like if there was a half day, I'd go home and watch Titanic almost every single day. And my friend, okay. I know, and my friends can vouch for that. I know every single line of that movie. I just clung to it. It had action adventure. It had romance. It had all the things that at that time, like, because I was only in third grade, I mean, I was pretty young. I was in elementary school, and it had all the things that I just loved and clung to, which is like in my books. Like it has the action adventure. It didn't have the sci-fi, but it had the action adventure and all that. Like Total Recall. Mm-hmm. That's my vibe. And I didn't know from a kid that I'd want to do this, but I always knew I wanted to do something creative. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of evolved. I wanted to escape my children, so I wrote a book. I love my kids, but I also very much love having my own identity.
You have to. Yeah. Even like people, even like I don't have kids, but I've just seen people like, if you're just around your kids, like you're both going to drive each other crazy. You have to have, even like with your spouse, you're going to drive each other crazy. If you're around each other 100% of the time, you have to have time by yourself.
Yeah, he's a video game player. I'm an author, so we are and reader. So we are like growing up. We've been together since we were 15. So he would be playing World of Warcraft while I'd be reading a book till like 2 a.m. in his bed, and he'd be on the computer. And that's just how we've always been. We can be in the same room but still enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
I had a T-shirt that was like, I can't wait to like spend time
around
but
you.
Not you. Not with you, but with you.
Well, I'm both. I read gaming. Reading and gaming are two things I'll never give up.
So you're both.
Yeah. I play video games to get away from people, not be around more. So I don't play Fortnite and all those online games.
Okay.
I go play a game where I can fall into the world and there's a good storyline. Like I love the Dishonored series. Darksiders are really good games. So I love story-based games. Yeah. I don't go play Call of Duty with online friends.
So like World of Warcraft, he plays with.
I will not get into that black hole.
Yeah.
Because it's just a rabbit hole where it just sucks you in and you can't, and like 6 hours are gone and you can't control it.
Well, yeah, he has 2 nights a week where he raids with his people and it's totally cool. I'm like, that's neat. But our kids are also older. We don't have newborns. When you have babies, you can't be doing that. It's too much. You can't be putting all that responsibility on one person. No. I breastfed all my babies, so it was different. A lot of the responsibility was on me just because I chose to do that.
Yeah.
But that's you can't do it. It's not really him. It's not really his fault.
Yeah, I was just saying I'm all the above, but like it. That's where I've had a hard time balancing time. Is like, okay, you have to do things to take care of yourself, but also like, right? Like I realized if I at one point if I didn't at least try to write one book and publish one book, I'd be 50 and regret it not doing it.
Exactly.
So like and I like hearing where other people got the inspiration, because some authors, they were writing since they were 5, and it just happened. Whereas other people, like, I had this idea, and now I just had this idea. I wrote it, and now I'm doing this.
That was me.
Yeah.
Yep. I am the latter.
Okay. And with that, what caused you to choose a pseudonym? Like, walk me through that.
Because there was already an author with the name Nikki Payne. My real name is Nikki Payne. And there was already a gorgeous author, and she's a well-established. She has her own social media, so trying to find all that would be a nightmare. Plus, I'm not that person. I would never be like, haha, I am also Nikki Payne. I shall try to overtake your people. No one would be able to find me.
Or I'm Nikki Payne, but not that one.
Right. Okay. And so trying to find a website, any social media would be a nightmare. No. So Eisley Rose was actually my daughter's name if we ever had a girl. We had 4 boys. So that was actually really easy. As soon as I found out my 4th was a boy, I yelled, well, I'm going to be Eisley Rose. It is my pen name. And you weren't going to go for 5? No, that uterus got taken out. It got yeeted back in December. I am not a fan.
Wait, so they only took the uterus out?
Yeah.
Why not everything with it?
Oh, they took out. Okay, so what I opted for was the uterus and both tubes. The uterus is obvious, for procreation and for not having periods any longer. And then the tubes is actually where the most common starting place of cancer is.
Okay.
So I kept in my ovaries for hormones. I have a history of a deep vein thrombosis, which is blood clots.
Okay.
So I had 2 after my surgery. When I had my ACL replaced. So when you have blood clots, you can no longer be on any type of hormones. You're at increased risk for blood clots.
Okay.
So I can never be on hormones ever again. So had they taken my ovaries, it would have started me in menopause, and I didn't want that. So they just kept it in.
Okay. Because with some of your posts, I'm like, I thought hysterectomy meant they took everything out.
No, so that is I had a hysterectomy, which is solely the uterus.
Okay.
Plus a bilateral salpingectomy, which is the tubes.
Okay.
And then an oophorectomy is the ovaries.
Oh, okay. So I just, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say sheltered homeschooler, like raise focus on the family, that stuff. And
I'm totally cool with educating people. Yeah. I love all aspects. I have no censorship. I mean, that's why most of my friends and I, we joke around about sex because we can. I'm open about everything.
Yeah.
And I'm very much a humanist. I'm LGBTQ plus.
Yeah. Where I was getting at with that is a little bit more of a joke on me. So my dad is also more awkward than your first period. So when he had to give us the talk, they got a booklet from Focus on the Family that he literally read from. Yeah. And so in there they had a book hit the male body, description front. On the back, they had the Grey's Anatomy diagram and whatnot. Yeah. Well, my mom tore the girls' page out of the book. So I joke about when I don't know that stuff, it's just because
you weren't educated.
And since I didn't know about it, I'm not going to go look at it. Why would I look at it? I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, when I talk about it, it's very objective. I don't bring subjective into it, especially with kids.
You
just very much address it this is what happens. And that's it. Especially with young kids. Now, I think it's very important. There are a lot of men out there that don't know where women's parts are.
Oh, yeah.
Or they ask, how many holes does a woman have? And they're like, what do you mean? They one. Or on the TikToks when they ask the woman, how can you pee with a tampon in? And they're like, because they don't go in the same hole. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a pee hole and you have a vagina. They're two different.
No education system, for whatever reason, has figured it out completely from what I've seen. Even public school is very weird about it. It's even bodies we have to deal with.
Agreed. Well, and the thing is as you get older, it has a real influence on your relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel
or just taking care of yourself.
I want to make sure that my children know about their bodies, about their spouse's bodies.
Yeah.
And that they know what should be happening, like
Yeah.
what's normal and what's not, because that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And using real technical terms, not
Nicknames. Yeah. That's one of the things I'm filing away if I have to use it.
That will never.
I didn't know that was a name thing. Okay.
A mom came into the office and said her front butt was hurting, and I was just like, what? I can't put that in her chart. What do you mean? And yes, because her 7-year-old, she wasn't comfortable using the terms. But as someone in the nursing field, you have to, sexual assault is a real thing, and you have to teach your kids the proper parts, or else they're never going to know. A lot of parents call a girl's part a cookie. So if you like, that's a cutesy term to these adults. But if all of a sudden they say, my uncle gave me a cookie, like, it takes on a whole, but you don't know what they're trying to say. Yeah. It's very important to teach your kids proper terms.
Oh yeah, obviously. Even it's funny, in our small group at our church or whatnot, I'm kind of known for being a little too blunt. So
I am as well. It's okay.
This one guy was talking about on a mission trip to England or whatnot, and you can't call it a fanny pack over there, because the British, we could think of fanny, we think of your butt. Well, over there, that's slang for vagina. So you can't go around calling it a fanny pack, because everybody, the Brits, they would be like, "What'd you say?"
100%. That would be
me. The guy was hinting around. Is just like, fanny is slang for something else. You don't say fanny over there. And he kept hinting around. I could see the guy we're talking to was like, why wouldn't you say it?
Yeah, I just need to know.
I just outright said it, like, it's their slang for vagina. He's like, really? I'm like, and the other guy was like, okay, yes, he said it.
But thank you, because if people just fiddle fart around something,
yes,
they don't know and they're not educated. So thank you for telling him that.
Yeah, and that has nothing to do with the actual interview, but
it's okay.
But yeah, that's just I have that big problem with, like, church people, or even just, I don't know if it's American culture or whatnot. It's just like, okay, let's look at this. Like, we have bodies. We need to know how to take care of them.
We have gotten very prudish. And I don't know what's happening, but I feel like we should be going not so much the opposite direction, but we should definitely know.
Let's be real
if it's our own body. Yeah. Well, and then what if something happens to someone's wife or something, and they're completely oblivious?
Oh yeah. Well, it does happen.
Yes, all the time, especially after childbirth.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had started talking about it. So what is your writing style? Like, are you an outliner? Are you a discovery writer? Has that changed?
I am an outliner. I like to write my books from start to finish in an outline, and then I actually put it in Scrivener in the individual chapters. Like, on the left-hand side, you can say what chapter it goes to. And then I kind of put the description. I actually put any pictures, because you can also put pictures of the people's clothes in there. I like to be very descriptive of the clothes, of the environment. I don't like to over-describe, but about the things that really matter, I do.
Yeah.
I like about their city and, like, the gowns that they wear, if they're wearing really pretty gowns. And, like, his boning in his corset. I got that idea from Corsivica. I want to say that's how you say it. I saw their reels on Facebook and on Instagram, and they are a male corset, and it is gorgeous and sexy as hell, and it is fantastic.
Okay.
And it's just men who are very masculine and comfortable with themselves, and corsets were made for men and women throughout the centuries, but they wear it, and then they have these really fancy jackets that go over it, and it is just fantastic. And that's very much Camden's personality, is very bling bling. He's extroverted. He likes showing his body off, and he knows that he's good looking. So I was like, that is going to be perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, I am very much an outliner, but along the way, I do go, oh, I think this needs to be explained, or, oh shoot, this needs to be the next scene. Like, I never even had I guess not so much the funeral scene. I always had the funeral scene in book 2, but the preparation of the body. That was not even in there. But then I decided after the actual event that Alessa needed to live. She needed to kind of linger in her sadness a little longer. And it just made sense. And it kind of gave her, like, a goodbye. So it just kind of formulated as the book went on.
Okay. Yeah, so, like, you're not a rigid outliner. You give it a little bit of flexibility.
Exactly.
Okay, because, like I hinted at, I'm the other way around. When I wrote because I just didn't know anything. I was just like, okay, you just sit down and you just write the story out of your head. But so that's how I wrote the novel while I was in college. When I came back to it, I'm like, I realized I need to understand what I'm actually doing. So I actually tried like listening to podcasts, reading books about it, and then heard people talk about outlining the book. I'm like, wait, people plan what they write before they write it? I just Jack Sparrow it.
Everybody can do whatever they want. That's the great thing about creativity. There are no rules.
Yeah. Though you talk to other people, like you have Stephen King, who's like militant discovery writer, and he's very successful. But then you have people, Sanderson isn't, he outlines his novels, but discovery writes his characters is how he describes it. And like you have very successful people on both sides. So I've just dove into the outline and like, what is this? How does this work? And can I use it? And so like, I wrote a kind of long novella, short novel over like a Christmas trip. And I very much did that. I took an outline. I'm like, okay, this is how I outlined the story to an extent of like, okay, this happens, this happens, this happens. But then, so it's a loose outline.
Yes.
When I start reading books like on actual outline, they want you to plan each conversation in the outline, and then your writing is just basically filling in the outline. And I'm like, I don't know if I can go that far.
Yeah.
I'm going to try here and there, but I don't think I can go militant one way or the other.
No.
So yeah.
I definitely agree.
I just like hearing where other people are. So with the 4-book series, did you sit down and like outline each book ahead of time and fill it in, or?
I do it right before each book.
Okay.
Because certain things change in every book and different, like I said, it wasn't even going to have any mythology, no religion. And Cain wasn't even going to exist. So now I have to bring him in.
Okay.
It's just, every book is so different than I had originally imagined. And then as I'm writing it, I like to say that I am not the author, I'm the conduit, because in my mind, these people really exist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if others feel the same way, but these feel like real people to me. And so I joke around, but halfway joke around with everybody. If I go missing, it's because the Spartans have found me and they're like, you need to stop spreading our secrets. And how do you know this? Because I feel like these people really exist. And like, I'm not putting myself in their shoes when I'm writing it. I'm writing it as though this is truly, I feel like the Oracle of Delphi is what it is. I feel like
you're an oracle, not an author.
Yes, exactly. So it's just a weird thing to be and to feel like, and how to explain it is just dang near impossible.
Yeah. That's what I thought was interesting in 6th Dark Tower book. I don't know if you read through them, but Stephen King literally brings himself into the story. Whereas like the characters traveled to his reality and they were like, hey, you are writing our stories. You need to like, and they hypnotize them, get clues and hints for what they need to do. But Stephen King in the book has only written the 1st book and they're in book 6.
Oh, that's neat.
And so like, it's interesting, but he even, they left in his author notes, like from his journal or whatnot. And at one point, when he started writing it again, he said, I feel like I am the vehicle for the story, not the author.
Yes.
So that's an interesting, hearing more people.
I feel like it's just funneling down through me and coming out.
Yeah, that's great. So what has your research for the Spartan culture mentality been, since it's a very specific group of people that were specifically ostracized for a reason?
So you walk into the library, and there is an entire aisle of World War II. At my local library, in the whole vicinity, there was 1 book on Spartans.
Yeah.
Like an actual biography, real book, not a fiction book written. So there wasn't a whole lot to go on. It's just more about and then obviously the internet. But you kind of grab at bits and pieces that you need rather than educate yourself about the entire thing, because there's still a lot that isn't known.
Oh, yeah. And
so some of it is speculation. So I kind of just created my own speculation along with it. So
I remember long after. Have you tried looking up the book Gates of Fire?
Yes, I think that was recommended to me by someone, but I have a lot going on in my life. I have a lot I'm juggling.
Find the audiobook. I had.
Oh my God. Well, I'm in an audio. I'm in my narrator's audiobook club. So
oh, okay.
I don't I don't have much time.
Okay. Okay. Because
for anything.
I found I've heard that book is the most like historically accurate historical fiction about that period of time.
Good.
And back when I was a teenager, when I started listening to it, and it's told from the perspective of, so a slave was actually allowed to fight alongside the Spartans because he met the requirements of like he didn't have any children, various other things. So okay, or no, he had a child pass on his lineage, and he just fought with the 300. But he was left for dead by the Persians, but somebody found him alive, and they brought him back to life, and they were like, hey, tell me about the story of the Spartans. Tell me how these, or it might have even been Xerxes kept him alive, and Xerxes was like, how did these 300 people keep off my legions, my thousands? And so I got, again, to tell you about my upbringing, I got a quarter of the way through the audiobook, and then I had told my mom, I made the mistake of telling my mom about it, and since they use the language of Spartans, like they say piss and like other curse words, she's like, you're not finishing that.
Oh, you just said piss was a curse word. That's adorable.
Yeah.
That right there tells me how you're brought up.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was some of my
upbringing. And I grew up in the opposite. My parents were not readers and were very easygoing, and I ended up accidentally reading a specific scene in the book It in like 6th grade.
Oh yeah.
So that happened in my life, which is fine. I'm not traumatized by it. It's whatever. I'm also very much, people be people.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Whenever I hear somebody say like they started reading Stephen King in middle school, I'm like, are you in therapy? Because you probably should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just curious because I'd even talked to you about that of like, it's very hard to find stuff about them because they were the most militant, rigid, and like we talked about, they practice infanticide. They practice a lot of stuff that's not cool. So
but it is funny that they were very rigid as far as that stuff, just being the strongest, but they didn't, their homosexuality was not, that wasn't a thing that they really, it wasn't even a label, I guess is what you would say. Because they did encourage it before, and they didn't be like, "Oh, you're gay." Like that wasn't even a thing. So it was just a camaraderie thing.
Huh.
And so and that's how
I hadn't gotten there.
Oh well, yeah, that's how all ancient civilizations were. They very much encouraged it, especially the night before, so that way they would fight for one another to the death.
Okay.
They felt like that if they had a physical connection with a person, that they would care about them more, and it would make them more likely to fight to the death. So that's why I included them in my LGBTQ plus, in the book.
Because it wasn't that far of a stretch.
Oh yeah, no. Okay. And then I'm pansexual as well. So it's very much like, why wouldn't I include a huge part of my life, in there? So it wasn't a hard decision, and it's not like something that drives the book. It's not something that's mentioned every other page. And then a lot of the time, because I want people to envision what gender that they want, what person they want in that scene, I say they. When they, like in the battle scenes, the Spartans are they, the bodyguards are they, because I want you in your mind to picture who you want. Yeah.
Well, and even in battle, you're not assuming somebody's gender is just enemy or no.
Exactly. So I just wanted them, like the readers, to be like, oh, they, okay, like, and then in your mind you can put whoever you want there.
Yeah.
You can put a Nicolas Cage there. You can put Kobe Bryant there. You can do whatever you want.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm right. Exactly. You can do whatever you want.
How do you balance your writing and your life and everything being like raising 4 boys? Because I know I'm the second of 4 boys, and I know what my mom did. So it's like, how do you have time to and homeschooling them? How do you fit that in?
I have them be very reliable. I have instilled in them, we do tours every day, we do class every day, but by class we do Khan Academy, which is a type of curriculum online, and then we do Tappity, which is for science, Tinker for coding. We're going to start doing Type C for typing, and it's very much it's not rigid at all. My life is not rigid. Like, we watch a movie every afternoon or with lunch. We started watching the old TV show Eureka. I don't know if you watched that.
I know.
It used to be on Sci-Fi.
Okay.
Amazing. So we started watching that with my 10-year-old. He's starting to get up there, so he can start watching the things that we are, just a little bit, hints here and there, which is great. But I need to be able to make sure that I can trust them. So of course they're kids. They're going to lie. They're going to say, hey, I did this, but on Khan Academy, I can actually be like, but you didn't, because I can assign the things. So every week I assign them schoolwork. We just bought them laptops. We have a dedicated place for them to all sit side by side. And we do like an hour of school, and then they do an hour of exercise, and then, or like free time, and then an hour of school, and then we have lunch, and then we'll have free time. So it all will be like 3 to 4 hours every day for school time. But then all of the extracurriculars are so easy. If they color, counts as art, and then if we go to soccer practice, counts as PE. It's so easy in the state of Missouri to educate my kids. And we just gave them brag moment. We just gave them their tests, and my 10-year-old just tested as a 9th grader as all of his tests.
A grade or two above, right?
Yeah, so he's technically in 5th grade.
Oh,
so he
okay.
should be. But he's testing as a 9th grader.
Nice.
But his reading comprehension is of a freshman in college.
Good.
So that is huge for me, because every second I'm like, maybe I should put you in public school. Maybe I'm failing you. And then when they come out with that, and they're like, no, because they do get to play their video games. They do get to relax after school and hang out, because they're human beings.
Yeah.
They shouldn't just be forced to be a work mule and just work. But yeah, a lot of it has to do with trust. And then my husband is super, super amazing. He works from home. So if I ever have a doctor's appointment or something, I can just leave, and then the kids know that he's at home. So he's working, but they're working. And then my toddler just comes with me, or like hangs out with his friends, which is his brothers. But Carson's only 7, so he's about to start 2nd grade. So him and Rowan are very much, they're their little buddies. So they like to play a lot, and they get to build with blocks, which is math, because they're doing engineering.
Okay.
They like to play chess. Checkers, that kind of thing, which is math, because it's logic. And then when they do D&D, that's
there's math.
Huge amount of math and logic.
Yeah, math, reading,
storytelling.
Improv, acting. Yeah.
It's and all of that goes towards schooling. It's insane how much schooling you can get done in just one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as juggling, I'm able to just be like, hey, so when they're done with school, I'll be like, okay, guys, you can go play your video games for 2 hours, because I'll let them play for 30 minutes each.
Okay. So
then they get to go do that, and then I get to write sometimes, or then I get to go at night. If there isn't a soccer practice or something, I'll just write while my husband hangs out with the kids.
Okay.
But we definitely don't ignore them. Like, my husband's at home with the kids today, so that way I can go to book club and hang out with you and do my thing. But without a supportive spouse, it would make things significantly harder.
Yeah.
And we've been together since we were 15, so we will forever have each other's backs, and he's just incredible. So yeah, it really helps having someone that's like, oh, I watched you birth our 4 children. You can go have your own personality. Go be yourself. And the kids get really excited. They're like, Mom, you're going to be an author? And I was like, yeah, I'll be back later. They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was really hard, because they just knew me as Mom.
Okay.
And I was just there with them.
Yeah. And
then when I started doing the author gig, they started getting a little bit more excited the older they got.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads into the next question I had for you, because you put a post up on one of the posts on Instagram, and it caught my intrigue. So, kind of woman-splain this to me, because like you mentioned something about you felt lost in your identity as a mother, and authoring pulled you out of that. So that's a perspective I won't understand. Again, my perspective is straight white dude, and all that. Like, but I hear women talk about that. It's like, what did that look for you, and how did authoring pull you from that? What did that look like for you?
So having even one baby is all consuming. The moment you conceive, the moment you get pregnant, you start to feel like shit. You feel terrible. The body, it is literally a parasite living off of you. It is sucking your nutrients. You lose calcium in your teeth. You can break bones easier. You're more likely to get cavities. You can vomit your entire pregnancy. You can lose weight. You can gain weight. You can be super hormonal. You can cry all the time. You can want to, kill yourself. Like, it is all consuming being a mother. And then when you have the child, it doesn't get any easier. They don't tell you about the 4th trimester. Once you then wreck your body to grow this being, getting stretch marks on yourself, having your confidence taken away, then suddenly you have to push it out. You are torn and bloody, and The United States does not have proper care for mothers. It never has, and it doesn't look like for the near future it's going to either. And our birth rate is at a low right now. So, and honestly, I'm glad for that, because the death rate is actually increasing. It's insane.
Like mother or child or both?
Mother.
Okay.
Mother. The child is taken care of. The child gets seen at the newborn appointment, at the 2-week appointment, at a 1-month appointment, at a 2-month appointment. The mom is given a single 6-week postpartum appointment, where I don't think at least one of my appointments, they didn't even look down there. They just said, "How you feeling? How you doing? You can have sex again." That's it.
So it's more of a permission appointment than actually, am I okay?
It is, in my opinion, an appointment for the man. Because why the hell would a sleep-deprived, nutrient-deprived woman want to have sex at that point?
Yeah.
Who just had literally a bowling ball come out something.
Yeah.
Like, she's still healing. They need at least 8 to 12 weeks. And they say after a C-section, you're supposed to take a whole year before you get pregnant again.
So it's worse for C-section. I'd think it'd be the other way around.
Oh, no. For C-section, okay, so you have to cut through layers of fat, of tissue, of muscle.
Okay.
And then they have to stitch it back together.
And then that has
is
to
a
heal.
major surgery.
Okay.
My children, 2 of my children were actually sideways.
Oh, okay.
And they had to, and I opted to, the day that they were delivered, I opted to have them externally turned. They rub jelly on you, the ultrasound jelly, and then they turn them, and then I had them pop my water so their head would be engaged, and then I got induced with the Pitocin, and then got them out the day. So that way, if the cord wrapped around their neck or anything, we could get them out immediately. That's one of the fears that I have about manually turning the baby. And then lo and behold, my 4th boy had the cord wrapped around his head twice. So that explains why he didn't turn the first time, that he remained in that position because the cord was wrapped and hold on tight. And then when we turned him, he started having D cells, which is where the heart starts having little bradycardic episodes. Ooh, big word. Where the heart rate slows during each contraction. So every time I was contracting, his heart rate was getting a little bit slower.
Okay.
So we had to kind of get him out quick. So that was fun. But yeah, as a mother, you give your everything to your children. And then once you push them out, it doesn't stop. They need you for your milk. They need you for your smell. They need you for your touch. I naively thought with my first child that I was going to be able to push them out and then put them, like breastfeed them, change their diaper, and put them down. All 4 of my kids had acid reflux. They were fussy. They all slept on my chest. I know it's a no-no, but you do what you got to do. And they slept on my chest in a recliner. I was upright, like all kinds of like this, like I barely slept. And with my first one, I had postpartum anxiety, which they don't talk about.
Yeah.
They do not talk about. They postpartum depression they talk about, but I wasn't depressed. I refused to sleep when my husband did, because I was so paranoid about SIDS.
Oh, yeah.
Even though my kid was completely no blankets, everything, slept in a little woomby. Yeah, no, I refused to sleep. And then
I have a sister-in-law with severe anxiety over that stuff.
See?
Too.
And you don't realize that it's a thing. It's postpartum. It's all hormonal. And unless you have the support, my husband didn't even know what it was. He didn't know I was going through all this, because if the men aren't educated,
seems to be running
the men, oh my gosh, I love that. There's a video about a woman putting on makeup, and she says, if the men know we can shapeshift, they'll turn us into the church. And I just love it so much. And that's very much, if the men aren't educated on how to help the women, our society is at a loss. And so I'm very, very pro-women, very pro-baby. We need more education. We need more help. And it just doesn't look like it's going to happen in the near future for us.
We'll get back to it. It's interesting on my side, because like we're on the opposite ends of the political spectrum, but even on my side of it, I'm like, they're living beings. Why don't we take care of the living beings? And if this is a problem, why aren't we taking care of the problem? And part of it could be like ignorance. It's like, okay, we've thought about this, but wait, there's that over there. So benefit of the doubt, it could be whether it's selective or not. There could be ignorance and like, okay, we need to acknowledge and address this. But
right,
still,
and it doesn't
like,
matter if you're Republican or liberal. You can still see the numbers. You can still see that we're at the lowest birth rate, and that's after Roe and Wade. That's after Roe and Wade, because all these women are now going to permanent sterilization in order not to get pregnant before, because all of these things that are coming out about the birth control causing deaths, thousands upon thousands of deaths and everything, and these lifelong issues, DVTs, like it's something that isn't considered. And until you look at the facts, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or liberal or whatever, or green or whatever. It's all about the numbers. It's about the facts. Women are dying at a high rate. Black women die more than white, than any other nationality. I want to say Hispanic is next, but I know that Black is the worst, and they don't get there. I mean, it's insane to me.
Yeah,
The healthcare system is so broken, and it's just getting more broken right now. It needs to change, and it's not changing for the better right now, unfortunately.
Well, and even like on the pro-life side, like, okay, it's pro-life. Like, why don't we try keeping people alive?
Well, and even if
understand
but
life.
if it is truly pro-life, why do we not care about kids getting free lunch in schools? Why do we not care about the foster system?
Oh yeah, that's broken. That's been broken. Yeah,
right. And that's the thing is, if it were truly not about control, if it were truly about pro-life, they would care about the kids once they were born. And there's the issue. That's why people are saying it's not pro-choice. It's pro-control.
I can see that argument.
Well, it's not pro-life, it's pro-control. But yeah, that's the huge issue is, if you really cared about the kids, if it wasn't just about the control, then you would care about Medicaid. You would care about them getting in to see their doctors. You would care. And that's the issue. Like, they're taking away free lunches for kids at school completely. They have completely, like, it's just astonishing. Like, you cannot say you are one thing but then go against all your teachings. It's the same thing in religion, like, I'm sure you encounter that a lot.
I can see that's a problem with humanity, is inconsistencies is guaranteed,
right?
And like, it shouldn't, and that's where, like, we should always strive to be better than we are, or we have been. Having four boys, trying to keep them alive, going through the healthcare system yourself and all of that, where did everything go from that point for you?
Like, as far as being an author?
Yeah, kind of like, authoring. You said authoring pulled you out of it, so like, I'm trying to go back, give the full story. So like, you were stuck in that. Well, I am just a caretaker, and
I was a nurse, and then I decided to start having children. So then I went to part-time, just because of the cost of childcare in the United States childcare in the United States is unreal. So I went part-time, and then on my second child, we decided to stay home, which is good because he ended up being high need sensory. So it actually worked out really well.
Yeah.
Then we had the third, and definitely had to move because of the high cost of housing. Then COVID hit after I had my third. Then my nursing, I was only working as a nurse on the weekends then. And so my nurse manager was like, it doesn't make sense to have you come in on the weekends, and then it takes half the shift to explain the new protocols, because every week there was a new protocol.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know. I don't know if you remember at the beginning, we thought it came on packages. So we were Lysoling everything from Amazon. So that was then. And then I stopped working altogether because my mom actually had dementia at the time, and she ended up passing away a week later.
Man.
And then we moved, I got pregnant again, and we knew that I wasn't going to be able to do nursing with having 4 boys. So, and at that point, my oldest was going to go to kindergarten. And with COVID, they sent everybody home. So I was like, well, I can't mess you up any more than they will. So once we moved, I just continued his education. And then my next kid saw him and was like, oh, well, he wasn't even supposed to start school for 2 more years. And then he started a year earlier than he would have, because he saw Levi doing it. And he was like, I want to do what he's doing. So all my kids have started a year earlier because of the oldest. So we just continued down the homeschooling route. And never did I see myself as a homeschooling parent. Never.
Yeah.
Never. growing up, they were, ostracized. I'm sure you were like, yes, I was a homeschooled kid. But no, we did the homeschool class and at the zoo. We go on vacations. We go to the Chicago Museum, the planetarium.
Yeah.
We go swimming. I mean, we just do all these fun things. And it's been really good for all of us to connect. And then they also play with kids outside of their age range. They're not stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And with being a mom throughout this whole time, it's kind of fun to watch them evolve. But then when my youngest one, who's now 3, hit 18 months, I gave him to his dad, and I was like, okay, I need alone time. So then about 2 hours every other night, I would say that. I would go and I was like, you know what? I just have to do this. And my friend Stephanie actually was the reason Glitched was finally put out into the world, because I had it written and then I was told, hey, this should be in the past tense. So to have to take a 114,000 word book and put it in past tense just sounded tedious. And my friend was like, you can do this. So every single night I went to the library for 6 weeks and got another chapter done, at least one chapter. And she'd be like, okay, I'm waiting for it. And she would read it as I went. And she would either catch errors or she would just read the storyline. She was like, wow, this is really good. And she was my motivator. So I could not have done it without Stephanie Sieber. I love that girl. And she actually comes to all my shows with me and helps me a lot. And it's nice for her because she's also a mom.
Okay.
So she gets to be a friend and help me during the shows. And we get to hang out together. And she gets to be someone outside of being a mom too, which, like I said, is all consuming, because you give your everything to your kids, you give your everything to your husband, and then there's not much left over for you. And so that's when I put up the wall and I said, no, I have done my job, and I'm not done by a long shot, but I need to kind of carve out some time for myself. And it's worked out beautifully because I've gotten to connect with people like you and readers. I have a lot of readers that are like, hey, when's the next one coming out? I'll ARC read for you, I'll beta. And I was like, that's awesome, I love that.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to have human connection outside of the family.
Okay.
You definitely need that as a human being.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm just trying to work through it, understand what you're saying. So it's like being a mother and growing a kid out of you and everything. You become like a caretaker, like a 24/7 caretaker.
And that's all you think about. That's all you eat, sleep, and drink, and just breathe. Kids.
And so you start losing individuality in that. But then being an author gave you a sense of purpose outside of just keeping other living beings alive.
Yep, and cleaning the house and chores and the monotony of day-to-day stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it's nice being like social media apps. It's nice because back in the day you didn't have that.
Oh yeah.
And you felt very isolated. And now it's like, oh, other moms are going through this too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say your kids aren't the greatest, because they're not.
No.
I'm not the greatest at all times either.
Yeah.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
It's human, and I'm a huge humanist. I believe in human nature. It's just who we are.
Yeah.
We can't control it.
Yeah. That's great, because I wanted to hear. I had seen you say that on Instagram, and I'm like, what does that actually look like? Because that's a perspective, from my point of view, I won't ever understand. So I love that, and wanted to get a little bit more fleshed out of that. So because I hear about that, and I'm like, what does that look like? What does that mean? So
you give your all and everything to your kids and your husband and your house, and then there's little to nothing left over for yourself until you either break or you make it happen.
Yeah.
And I made it happen.
Yeah.
I broke mentally, but that's fine. That happened years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
That had nothing to do with my kids.
Yeah. What caused you to go independent and not traditional publishing?
I actually tried to go traditional publishing. I submitted my book to, not the whole book, but the query letter to over 100 agents and publishers. I got a call. I got 3 that were interested in having me send me my book, or like a partial, and then one that had me send the whole thing. The one that had me send the whole thing said, I love the book idea, but it would take too much to fix. And I was like, bet. I can do this. And so they're not the ones that told me that I needed to be past tense, but I definitely heard from someone else that it needed to be past tense. And I was like, I agree. I think it would definitely be better. And so I took 6 weeks. That's all it took. And I did it all myself.
Yeah.
So people just have to believe they have to have faith in human beings. People are capable of doing things.
Oh yeah.
And So I submitted it to over 100 people, and then I didn't. And then one I had contact me from another country overseas, and I had a lawyer look at it, and she was like, "They're wanting full rights to your book."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, no. And she's
Yeah.
like, I agree. So I'm very glad that she was well worth the money. I definitely would have any lawyer. I would have a literary lawyer agent.
Oh, yeah.
Look over any contract before signing it. And then I finally was like, you know what? I already know what I want the book cover to look like. I already know I don't want to change anything about my book. And if someone else has control over it, if you get picked up by a publisher or an agent, they have the right to say, take this out.
Yeah.
We don't want this, or change your storyline. And I don't want that. I wanted full rights to my book.
Yeah.
I want to be able to print out as many of my books as I want and take them to any of the cons that I want and sell them to people who want to read it. Yeah. I don't want to be held back. So that's over 100. I tried and they didn't want me. They said that I wasn't in a wanted genre. And I said, you know what? That's because no one knows about me yet. And no one knows about this genre. So boom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took me to book 3 to realize that I'm dystopian, and because book 1 is more thriller, book 2 is more romantasy because it was more emotional than book 1 for sure, and then book 3 is going to be more thriller, but it's all about the end of society. It's all dystopian, and it took me to book I'm writing book 3, and I'm like, it's dystopian.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think it more is like urban fantasy. That makes more sense to me, but I can see the dystopian too.
Yeah. So it's more urban sci-fi because
sci-fi. Yeah.
But it's weird because it's not sci-fi because it's not like pew pew. You know what I mean? Like it's not like aliens, which is what you think of when you think of sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's alternate history sci-fi. So it's just so weird the way that you have to term things. And then the genres on the websites like Ingram Spark and Amazon and everything is just so particular.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, and I was kind of similar. You know, I haven't actually published anything yet, but like when I started looking into it, I only knew of traditional publishing. I didn't know independent publishing was a thing, and so when I started looking into it, I'm like, wait a minute, I have to spend 5 to 10 years begging people to publish my book for it to possibly be considered.
That's just an agent, so you have to.
Oh yeah.
And you have to pay for editing on your own before you get your agent. You have to do several rounds of editing, and then you apply for an agent. Then you can, if you want to, pay for someone to assess your query letter to see if it's up to par. Then if you get an agent, then they can decide what parts need to be changed, and then they edit your book.
Yeah.
Then they try submitting it to publishers, which can take years.
Yeah.
And then they can drop you after all that.
Yeah, and I was just like, and on top of saying like at best you're getting 20% profits from your book, it's like at best, and that's like you have to be Stephen King.
That's to be a good author. That's
Sarah
to be
J.
a
Maas
high.
And all that.
That's a big author. That's not a baby author.
Yeah, no, beginning author you're looking at 5, 10 if you're lucky. Yeah. So like I'm like, okay, no, I'm getting, if it's my creativity, my research, I'm getting the profits from it. And I'll take the responsibility of now I have to market, I have to pay for the cover art, everything. I'll take that. But that's one of the complicated things. So yeah, I'd seen you post about like 100 applications and denials. So that's cool. That's cool. So you kind of started.
Bet I'll do it.
Yeah, and you're doing it. Have you had much luck like going when you're down in Georgia trying to look around places there, or
I actually, so when I was up in Omaha about a month ago, I went to the Bookworm and they were fantastic. The bookstore is incredible. It's huge, and they actually just took on my book. I left them a copy and I was like, it's not for sale, this is just for you, like just to read it. If you want to, like, just pick it up on your spare time. And I went through their website because almost every bookstore has like a process of vetting you and making sure your social media is appropriate. And I was like, I always like to leave a book with people because I want to make sure my vibe is okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And then like the Afterward Tavern here in Kansas City is looking at getting it. The Raven out in Kansas has it. Basement Books, Casey, Red and Rooted, Katie's Books, Barnes and Noble. I'm like trying to go through all those.
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah, I literally just go into these bookstores and I talk to them. We hit it off and they're like, yeah, we'll give you out in Harrisonville, there's a winery that has a bookstore in it. And they are fantastic. I can remember their names, but I can't remember. It's Marcus and Karina.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of their bookstore, but they're incredible. But yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, Freedom Literature is what they are. And so yeah, I'm in definitely more than a handful of bookstores, but it's crazy for people not to realize that authors like me, indie authors, just get $1 or $2 a book.
Oh yeah.
Tops.
Yeah.
Max. And that's hardback and that's paperback, but it's the price has increased so high because Ingram Spark has such a high percentage that they take, and we don't have any choice over that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Have you looked into? I know KDP is just another thing. Have you looked into other print-on-demand services like Lulu?
So that's just print on demand.
Yeah.
And yes, that's more expensive. It's a higher cost.
Mm-hmm.
I have used Amazon and 48-Hour Books, Ingram Spark, and Book Vault.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Book Vault is the British.
Yeah, and they also have a printer here in the U.S.
Yeah.
The best bang for your buck is Amazon or Book Vault. And yeah, as far as pricing goes, Ingram Spark can be for sure. But you're always going to have issues no matter who you use with shipping.
Yes.
And then by the time the books make it to your house, it could be crap.
That's
fun. And then trying to deal with getting them replaced. Amazon is actually really easy with getting them replaced.
Okay.
As far as my experience goes.
Yes.
But yeah, it's crazy how little you make.
Oh yeah.
It is a glorified hobby right now. It is an expensive hobby, but I'm having fun doing it. It's keeping my mental health. It's keeping me sane.
Yeah.
It's giving me a life outside of my kiddos, and which is great for my husband as well, because then he gets to, I'm not just a mother and a wife, because then you get stuck in that, but he also gets to see me as a human being as well again, and it's nice for everybody.
Yeah, and any good husband wants to see his wife do well.
Exactly.
And be well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's great. That's pretty much all I had the questions on your side. So yeah, wanted to give you all a better idea of the author, Eisley Rose here. Give you more prick her mind more on how she writes, why she writes, all of that stuff. So check again, all of her stuff's going to be where you can find her is going to be in the description below and all that stuff. Check her stuff out. I really recommend her books. And remember, I'll end the video reminding you God loves you and wants to spend forever with you.